what we're doing today is basically going to talk about some injury prevention strategies. So when you're out in the field, basically at all times, reducing the risk of any musculoskeletal injury. You know, people have these injuries at work, but the impact it has basically on a family life, recreational, financial, is huge. Psychological is quite important. And also the process of going from an injury and having to take all the steps to going back to full health, is quite a long process, and it can be quite draining as well. What we want to do starting off with is basically talk about the main mechanisms of injury. So they're the manual handling stuff that we do on a day-to-day basis. Things such as lifting, pulling, using a shovel, a rake, a spray backpack. I mean, these kind of things are major causes of injury. I mean, last year in Victoria, we had 10,000 manual handling injuries alone. And it's some very, very easy strategies that we can start putting into place that can help prevent them. The biggest thing with manual handling is, if there's anything you guys can take away from today, is basically having correct posture and using your legs. I mean, obviously we look at, there are some diagrams out there, how to lift properly, how to pull properly, and it's about 100 dot points. But really, if we can break it down to two easy concepts, it's basically having good posture and driving through your legs is the most important things. Make sure you are nice and close to the object. If you're lifting from the ground, using your backpacks or shoveling, it basically applies for everything. So two key home messages there. All right, next thing we wanted to talk about is basically the main injury sites of the body with manual handling. We're going to start from the top and talk about neck and shoulders, then go through to middle back. We're going to talk about some lower back issues and some ankle as well. So we're going to start off, everyone can do this one as well. Just basically putting your hand behind your back. So start off with the right hand behind our back. Bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Just tilt your head down. And then with your left hand, come across to your right ear and gently pull that down towards your left shoulder there. And you'll feel a bit of a stretch running down from your ear to your shoulder. Nice static stretch, just holding that there for 30 seconds. And then once you've done that, going across the other side and repeating the same on the other side as well. So just keeping nice and loose through the joints is also important. So all you need to do is very simply, just turn your head to the right and then turn your head to the left. And even by doing this, you are getting a bit of a stretch of the muscles, but you're opening up those upper neck joints. We will recap on this, but basically any kind of movement exercises we want to do for 60 seconds, any kind of stretching exercises where you're just holding in one place, 30 seconds is generally enough. First thing is we really want to keep nice and tight through your shoulder blades. So when we are lifting, if your shoulders are rolling forwards, that's when we're getting into strife again. So put both hands against the wall. Excellent. Okay. Very easy, guys. We're just going to gently press into the wall there. Just gently press your hands behind you and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then relax. So push gently backwards, squeeze your shoulder blades together and relax. So that little routine there, all 60 seconds, and what it basically does is activate all those muscles in between the shoulder blades. Putting your arms up on a rake, if you've got a rake, a shovel, anything that you can basically place along the back of the shoulders there, and just very, very gently rotating your body from right to left. Once again, stretches out all the muscles, but even further, it really helps to open up those joints. So it's very, very important just to basically take everything nice and slow. These exercises aren't supposed to be done 100 miles an hour, just very, very gentle, easy exercises. Now this is where core stability really comes into it. Now it's basically, everyone's got the ability to pretty much turn on their core muscles. And basically what a core is if we can imagine a band that runs from our stomach right around to our back. It's like a belt. The tighter that belt is, the more supported you're going to feel. Because the less you're going to be able to flop around with your back and then put yourself at risk of injury. So to turn that belt on, two very easy ways to remember. First one is, as graphical as it sounds, is to basically pretend you're passing water and then you're squeezing those muscles to turn off the flow of that water. Okay, so pretend you're going to the toilet, passing water, and then you're squeezing those muscles to shut that flow off. That's the first one. So you're squeezing really lower muscles there. And the second one is drawing your belly button inwards. Second thing I want to talk about with the lower back is keeping really flexible. and that's in through the bottom muscles, the glutes, and the hamstrings as well. First thing one we can do is holding onto the wall. So if everyone can grab a part of the wall again, what we want to do is put one foot over your knee, like that, yep. And once you have that position, the knee, the foot that you're standing on, just slowly start to bend it down. It's like you're sitting into a chair, but with your leg crossed over. What we're going to be aiming with this stretch is to feel the stretch on the bottom muscles with the knee that's bent. Once again, holding that there for 30 seconds. It's a static stretch, so for 30 seconds. And then swapping to the other side. If you've been working all day, all these stretches, even though they are warm-up exercises, they're also very effective to done at the end of the day as a cool down as well. So everything we talk about in the warm-up is also a process that we can take away for the cool down. The hamstring stretch is best done from a height, so if you can put your foot up on the ute, up on a chair, something that you've got enough elevation just to put your foot up like that. Having the knees slightly bent. If you straighten the knee completely, you start to stretch all the nerves. But what we want to do is actually stretch the muscles. So by just unlocking the knee just slightly, having a nice straight back, leaning forward, you start to feel a stretch in the hamstring there. So two things important with the hamstring stretch. Don't roll forward, because we talked about having good posture, so we don't want to forget about that either. And then once that's up, and then the second thing is basically keeping your foot on an elevated height, so you don't have to go too far to the ground. Once you have an ankle injury, the risk of re-injuring your ankle is massive. It's really, really high. So it's always a good thing to know. And if anyone's had an ankle injury here, it's always good to get an assessment from a physio, and basically going in and having a look at how stable your ankle is. Just make sure you're not really in that high risk category. A couple easy exercises that we can go through for the ankles. The first one is an activation exercise. So like I was talking about, the most common way to sprain your ankle is to roll inwards. So what we want to do is activate the muscles that turn our foot outwards. With the outside of your heel outside of your foot pressed right against the surface, what I want you to do is turn your foot inwards. Turn your foot outwards into the wall. Now against the wall, what we're doing is stimulating all the muscles in the calf, and just doing that on and off for 60 seconds helps to really tighten up all the muscles running around the outside of the calf there. Heel foot on the floor and turn outwards like that. So lifting up the outside of your ankle even. You can even focus on just lifting up the outside of your foot. And that will give the same effect. First one is an activation exercise. Second one is just a really, really gentle calf stretch. So everyone start with the right foot, having your toes facing inwards, a nice straight knee on the right knee, and then with the left knee, I'm going to get you to lunge in. And you start to feel a stretch at the back of the right calf there. Why this stretch is so important is because if we've got a lot of tight calves now, if we're on the field all day, we're working our legs, and we start to build some really tight calves up, we're more prone at pulling our ankle inwards as well. So if we've got really a lot of tension run through the calves, we're more prone at an ankle injury. That's why it's important to stretch the calves, but also do those activation techniques that we talked about as well. Someone at an office job who's sedentary all day really should be drinking around 2.5 litres of water a day. So when you guys are out in the field, you can chuck another 500 mils or another litre on top of that, so around 3.5. It seems like a lot, but it's so important to keep hydrated for two major reasons. The first one is basically our bodies are mainly made up of water. So our muscles, our tendons, our ligaments, all those things we hear about in the body, all of them are made up of water. Second thing is also to keeping hydrated goes a long way at preventing fatigue. Keep a litre of water on you at all times, and once that runs out, keep filling it up throughout the day. Really, really important. It's important, looking after each other as well. It's important that you've got, in the back of your mind, you've got someone looking after you at the same time. Because like I said right at the start, guys, having an injury isn't fun, and it's a massive process to get from an injury back to full work again.